Hello! What's up, motherfuckers? Uh, what are you talking about? The evidence is slim. What? Girl, you high. You must be high. Nicole, you high. What's up, Luis? How you doing? I told you. I forgot I had to drop off an earth compactor, so it took me an extra couple minutes. So that was my bad. Because it bitch weighs like 500 and something pounds, and I got to there lift it by myself. So, but I already did that. As I said, oh, Nicole, she got to be high because I gave her a case to look into because she'd be in all them always looking for cases. But it's like, I don't know. How do I put it? I get no respect around here. You know, no respect. I'm the one that everybody seems to turn to get cases from or whatever. But usually, yeah. But it is what it is. You must be high, Nicole. And I'm what? And I'm what? So, as I promised, I'm back here to help everybody look for buried treasure. Yay! 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 But I guess only Luis wants money, so, huh? Oh well. Nicole. I gave him three cases. I wanted the cases that are either unsolved, very mysterious, or solved but still somewhat well known. Stuff like that. But I'm not too much of a. I mean, I know plenty of recent cases and everything else, but it's the ones that go unsolved for so fucking long or so mysterious for so long, like a John Benet Ramsey or something like that. You know what I mean? Those are the good ones. Those are the ones you have to literally freaking use your brain on. Yeah, if somebody asks me for a case, ask me for an interesting case. Well, shit. I'm going to give you an interesting case. Now, you got to understand when I give you an interesting case, that means it's interesting to me. And while I don't believe I'm a genius or anything like that, in fact, I just think I'm just normal. For me to get perplexed by a case, whoo, no. Like I said, I probably saw Idaho in like fucking 3 or 4 days or some shit. So it is what it is. But how do you mean there's very slim evidence, Nicole? How? I know I just gave him the case, so I'm not trying to jump to conclusions or anything like that. But I just oh so did you look into Michelle Schofield or what? Because I figure y'all are pro defense people, so I wanted the case that had a severe travesty of justice. For what? Check that had it. Okay, and the second one thing I was looking for is well, basically, I mean, it's technically unsolved, so that worked too. Um, what else was I going to say? What's a bootlicker? So did you hear what they had all along? And how long that man still sat in prison? Because I know a lot of people use the phrases, "Hey, that's reasonable doubt." Well, let's just say this case here that she's talking about that I gave her. If there were ever such things as reasonable doubt, it would be here in this case. Yeah, I know what you are, Louise. I'm neither. I'm literally. I go case by case. I look at all the facts well in advance from both sides, or multiple sides, if that's the case. And oh, okay, then I don't want to spoil it for you. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Oh, because it's massive. It's fucking massive. I think everybody should be really more than either. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why people even think I'm pro state because of all the cases I've actually literally been, except for Delphi. But I think, and even Delphi, I'm not really pro state. In fact, I'm one of the biggest fucking critics of the state. And all the things I point out that lead me to believe that Allen somewhat was involved were not, you know, gotten by the cops or the damn lawyers. None of it. Or his confessions, none of that shit. All this shit, the stuff that makes me look at him over and over and over again. It's not my fault that you're deaf, retarded, or whatever. I literally said I was going to go to the store and come back and tell y'all how to find a bag of money. Did I not? If you have a bag of money. When it comes to Delphi, no, I consider, no, because you can't consider me a guilty because until you can somehow discount the things that I've already proven. Because I've actually obtained my own fucking evidence. I'm neither a guilty nor an innocent. I go exactly where the evidence puts me, and every single small piece of circumstantial evidence and all that other stuff gathers up. What do they say all the time in those documentaries and shit? They always tell you they're like circumstantial evidence isn't direct evidence, but it piles up, and once you lay it all out, it tells a fucking story for you. Well, same goes in Delphi, but is it enough to convict? No, that's a toss up. I'm not done digging. I just started digging again recently. There was nothing I would like more to literally be the one to find the one thing that literally. If I was a guilter, then how do I know the case better than damn near everybody on both sides? You know how you tell a person's biased or not? By the lack of information they have from the other side that they're not on. The fact that I'm pretty much one of the most knowledgeable people on YouTube about Delphi, whether it be from the conspiracy side or from the state side, I'm up there. Anybody else want to step up? Go for it. Are you going to sit here and literally not say that there's been multiple things that I brought up that nobody's even noticed over God, years? Why the fuck did I know it? Oh, I'm guessing it's a coffee drink. I would love to prove it, Fishy, if I could just get someone to come up here with me, or even better, a panel to prove it on. But as you've seen, nobody wants to talk to me in the Delphi community. No, I'm not saying, no, I'm not trying to act like I know everything because I don't. I'm just, but yeah, actually, like I literally, yeah. Oh Lord, why do you? Don't you have to work today or something? And no, I did not say I know everything about the case or more than anybody about the case. I said I'm up there with the people that know more information or the most information. Oh, I don't know. I was going to tell everybody how to find some money if they actually had some to be helpful or whatever. And somehow it always gets back to true crime because I was giving Nicole other cases to work on. Then why are you still up at 4, bro? Well, it's my business or whatever, but shit, ugh. There's nothing worse than trying to go to work and you can't sleep. Ugh. So, what case were you talking about, Nicole, or did you already give it to me? I mean, yeah. For example, Pitchy. Okay, one of the major fucking conspiracy things that Alex in propping on all that. I said, what case were you talking about, Nicole, that you wanted me to check out? But also, what I'm saying is, the whole deal with the whole cartels and all that other shit. I was the one that came up with that shit on Reddit years ago. That shit that Alex and Prop and them are all talking about? Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thankfully, I've never spent that much time. Hell, if you want to, you can connect Delphi through 13 or 14 different states and connected to a possible 16 serial killers or more um, that lead all the way down to Mexico and the cartels. Starting from, of course, Vegas, aka where the King Klein and Tony would to sell the snuff film. See, it's all what route you take, and very very thin shots and everything else. Sometimes you have to take, but it's enough there that you can track it all back. Most people don't know would they be called assassins? What are we talking about? Assassins? Once again, you had your mind made up before you did that, though. I mean, y'all can do whatever the hell you want, but I mean, the best way, huh? Instead of serial killers, what about it? What about assassins? What would you like to know about assassins? Like what Mark David Chapman or uh, what's his face? Samar, what the fuck his name is or whatever. An unsolved case in Baxter Springs, Kansas. Need a little bit more information. Date, victim, not name, but well, I hear Kansas, and right away I think BTK. Jennifer Bryant happened in the 1990s. Yes, they would be assassins, but they also could be. But here's the thing, okay? An assassin can also be a serial. Yeah, an assassin can be a serial killer, and a serial killer can be an assassin too. I mean, definitively, definition-wise, okay, a serial killer is just somebody that kills more than two or more victims with a break in between, like a cool-off period. That's all it really takes to be a serial killer, by definition. So yeah, an assassin can, yeah, but so can a serial killer. That's a common misconception that all serial killers can't stop killing. That's not true at all. Joseph D'Angelo, the Golden State Killer, he stopped killing for I think it was almost 40 years after his last victim. BTK hadn't killed, I think it was in like 15 years or so since his last victim. You know, so yeah, contrary to belief, serial killers stop killing all the time. Well, I mean, I'd be hypocritical if I didn't check every single time something came out that was new. There's enough for me to I mean, and I have an excuse to keep checking, and it's a very simple reason why because of the DNA. Even though there is technically a logical explanation for that too, that people just keep leaving out. It drives me nuts, mind you. It's like, stop telling me that it eliminates Richard Ellen because technically we don't know that. Does a serial killer lose his sex drive? I mean, are you asking me if he stops getting boners? I mean, it's possible, sure. It's happened. Will that change anything? Or stop him from killing? Nah, no, it won't. In fact, some killers actually can't even get their dicks hard anymore. That's predominantly one of the reasons why they're killing in the first place. Andrei Chikatilo from Russia or whatever, 90% of the time couldn't even get his dick hard, which caused him to go insane. No, in fact, some of them get worse because they can't give it up. Like I said, Chikatilo in Russia, his main problem that made him go nuts in the first place was because he got laughed at by women because he couldn't get his heart, couldn't get his dick hard. But the funny thing was, when he stabbed him with a fucking knife, ooh, he got hard then. Who else? There's a guy by the name of Miyazaki out of Japan with really creepy, deformed hands. They call him the little girl killer. Once again, he has the same situation. See, serial killers are pretty much no, believe it or not, that doesn't always help all of them either, or other medications don't either. Some of them just have their shit just cut off. You know. How do I put it? Yeah, Miyazaki was a little girl killer. He was a deformed, handicapped, disabled dude with money that was murdering little 6-year-old girls. And he couldn't get it up. Think of a serial killer almost like a pedophile. Whether or not, there is no cure for it. See, so if you make them impotent or whatever reason or whatnot, it does not make a difference. They will still do it just to have that feeling in their mind and all that, seeing it. They don't actually have to have a sexual appendage or whatever, or at least a working one, to still commit the crime. Now, do all serial killers only attack people that they're sexually attracted to? No, that's not at all the truth either. I mean, albeit those are the ones I actually like researching. There's nothing worse than a serial killer that does so just for profit. Ugh. It's just, yeah, that's gross. I hate those kind of cases. I've been studying serial killers since I was like 6 or 7 years old. I started with Jack the Ripper and the Zodiac. Any other questions anybody wants to ask? So, what about that case caught your attention, Nicole? Why that case? You're not from Kansas. You don't live in Kansas. I'm not drinking anything. Oh, Oh my lord. I got a bag of these Mexican nerd candies. That's what I was going to have some, but no, when y'all could be always a pain in the ass every time I try to do something. Any other questions about serial killers? I mean, I know more than serial killers, obviously. Soon I'm going to tell y'all this badass story because it's fucking epic. I haven't even got cigarettes yet. I had time to drop off the compactor and that's it. So I'm just dealing with it for the moment. I think I got a vapor on here somewhere I got to find. I got a live I do plan on coming up with. I was waiting for Nicole to get better and stuff like that. This live's all literally going to be about serial killers that got bested by their victims. This whole live that we're about to going to do. Oh, it's definitely a thing. I will agree with that much. But this whole live is all about victims turning the tables on the serial killers themselves. Most of them were just literally murdered by their victims, which is awesome. And then there was one awesome family that I just got to talk about because they're just fucking badass. And I can't wait to do that live, honestly. It's a story basically. A family just goes to sleep to get ready for bed. I think just a mom and dad and like a 15, 16-year-old daughter. Next thing you know, the daughter's mouth has a massive hand over it. And dude's got a knife to her neck and all kinds of shit. And he's telling her if she makes a sound, he's going to kill her. And you would think that most people would just do what they're fucking told in those kinds of situations. But sure enough, she starts kicking and moving as much as she possibly fucking can. And her mom, I don't know, hears a little bit of muffled like moving around and shit, right? And she gets ready to go check. And her dad, who normally says, well, this is what he says, of course. He never does shit like this, but for whatever reason, he took it upon himself this time to go check instead. He opens the door, and we're talking about dads like, I don't know, 5'4", 5'5", 5'6", somewhere in there, really skinny, slim guy or whatnot. Small dude. The guy that he finds on top of his daughter dressed up like a fucking ninja. Like Beverly Hills Ninja, because this dude was like 6'6" and like 400 pounds. On this little tiny kid, little kid. And then the dad's not much bigger. And this dude's got knives and all kinds of shit. The family I'm talking about. And the serial killer. This is what happens literally. The story of basically a serial killer versus fucking a really tiny family of really small people. And it's one of the best stories I've heard in the fucking true crime genre ever. Well, Dad don't think twice for whatever reason, even though dude's got like fucking 4 times the weight on him as the dad has. He's damn near 1.5 feet taller almost. I think something like that. Dad attacks fucking the ninja knife wielding fucking psychotic serial killer. Daughter gets loose. She calls 911. Mom comes in and helps in the only way she could possibly think of, and that is to literally grab the bare blade of the fucking knife as her tiny husband is being manhandled left and right by this monster fucking damn near Andre the Giant motherfucker. I shit you not. They have the 911 call and everything, but you can hear the daughter telling them what's going on. And she's in the other part of the house, but you can hear. You're hearing the story as it's going on. And basically, that no, almost Kipper size, almost a little bit shorter, but uh, just as big. Oh, you're asking what was the name of the serial killer? Adam Leroy Lane. So little tiny dad, for whatever reason, will not fucking give up. He's getting his ass basically handed to him, but he's got a little bit of wrestling skills, so he's not fucking giving up on this shit. And he knows damn well what happens if he lets this guy go. They don't even know he's a serial killer yet. We find that out later on. They just know he's a bad guy breaking into the house with a lot of knives and shit, right? So dad will not give up. I give him mad props. Mom, for the most part, like I said, she is barehanding this knife. She's bleeding all over the fucking place, but she don't give a fuck. She's just holding on. I have no idea. Why don't you go find out for me and tell? Oh wait, you can't because he got executed last year. Damn, that sucks. But at one point, oh dude, big old fucking ninja serial killer guy runs out of gas. So he has to start taking a break or whatever. And I'm sure it was a ploy to, catch them off guard. Because that's exactly what happens. Um, Out of nowhere, he goes from having his break or whatever to start slamming around the dad again and all this other stuff. But in the end, the cops end up getting hung up on. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. The cops are racing there because they know they have a monster fucking giant with multiple knives at this residency. And these tiny little people trying to stop it. And you get left with thinking the worst thing possible probably happened, and that is, if dad loses his grip or something like that, they're all dead, right? That's what it comes down to. And no, I shit you not. What? Well, I mean, a large amount of adrenaline and everything else. I mean, what does it matter? Period. Um, but yeah, serial killers are only usually doing that because of sex. So the cops get there, they run inside the house. They're damn near. I'm telling you, the dad was like 5'6" and 140 pounds. The mom was even smaller, and the daughter was even tinier. And the daughter wasn't even in the fight against 6'6" or more, 400+ pound Adam Leroy Lane, the ninja fucking serial killer, who picked his victims via based on a movie called Hunting Humans. He was a trucker. Which once they had him, and see, the police raided the house, and sure enough, they found him in that room. The mom was holding the fucking knives. The dad had that motherfucker down in a fucking rear naked choke and never lost grip. I tell you what, dude, I give that man mad fucking props. He loses that grip, man, they're all dead. They are all fucking dead. And yeah, it's one of the most badass things I've ever heard in my life is that little dude telling that story like he's getting slammed into walls, to roof, all kinds of shit. And he's like, I don't even know, man. I stopped feeling the pain after a while there, and I just wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go. I knew if I let go, something bad was going to happen to my family. And I was like, holy shit, man. That's a badass story right there. So Adam Lane, now all fucked up looking and everything else, gets arrested by police, gets taken into custody. They go and find his rig, find out he's a long haul trucker, and start linking him using a movie to multiple serial murders that have been almost damn near blamed on other people and stuff. It's a very, very interesting story. Like I said, we'll do a live or whatever. And he's not the only one. Adam luckily, he got to live through his. There's been multiple serial killers that were murdered by their victims. Well, killed by their victims. I guess that's self-defense, not murder. So, yeah. Even. I'm sure everybody, I mean, y'all watch true crime and see updates and shit like that. I know y'all heard of fucking, what's his name? Neil Falls, right? Is it the Dirts or the Derps? No, the Derps. The Derps. No, I mean, yeah, I guess technically they are an offshoot of the troll farm because at the time well, you got to see the troll farm started becoming a thing inside of Rick Snake's chat. Yeah, some people call them the Kooks, but I like my Derps. That's what I call it. Yeah, see, the whole group began out of Rick Snake's chat. And when I created or when I named them what they were or whatever, and Prof, which yeah, like you said, he's my dude now and stuff like that in his own way and stuff. So I'm not trying to hate on him or whatever. Same with Noe. But yeah, that's how I met them motherfuckers. They came through the troll farm. So when I tell people and everything else that there's a lot of accounts that benefited and got all kinds of shit via the troll farm, aka viewers, all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, that's where they started from too. But so did I. So it's not like it's really such a horrible thing. Some people just do. I don't think they intended to or not, but yeah, yes, you didn't know Prop was troll farm. So was Noe. I was there in the Discord when they brought him in. Yeah. No, no. I would call the Derps and the. It'd be like okay, the creators in the Derps squad is what I call it. I even have a account called the Derp Squad, but that would be Prop Noe and Snake, and I think that also includes what's his fucking name? Ramy? No, no, Ravi? No, what's his name? The freaky Canadian guy who always says there's like you can see 30 people and bridge pictures and shit like that, and all this other crap. Ramy, I can't remember his fucking name. A lion. His account is like lion Rappy. Yeah, Rappy. That guy. As above, so below. Ha ha. I would not call Anthony Greeno in the Derp Squad. No, Anthony Greeno is more an affiliate of the Troll Park, and more. I would call him more of a cross between an affiliate of the Troll Farm and independent in his own way. Because y'all forget, okay, let's speak hypothetically. The first time I saw Anthony Greeno, he was in a lineup of people making a podcast, and that lineup was Anthony Greeno and Hoosier Cold Cases, which if you know who these people are, you know that Hoosier's a crank. And Greeno believes Richard Allen's fucking guilty. And the third member of this group, it was Hoosier Cold Cases, Anthony Greeno, and Captain Howdy. I shit you not. And if I got to explain about Captain Howdy to you, oh boy, that's going to be an interesting conversation. Yeah, there's definitely there's the people that got eliminated from the troll farm. Uh, yep, but I want to say like how do I put it? I wasn't okay. If you're gonna come in here and be a dick, what did I tell you about trolling? If you're gonna come in here trolling, at least amuse me. You're not amusing. I'm answering questions that the people in the audience wanted to hear. How long ago was I in the troll farm? I have not been a member in about 2 years. I think. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. I want to say about a year and a half or so. I'd have to ask both for the actual definitive timeline or whatever. But we were kicked out a long time ago because, well, I'm going to be straight up with you. I never wanted to be there in the first place. Things get put in a certain way that in context that you feel like is untrue, but you can't take the risk because if you're wrong, somebody might die. And I know that sounds a little bit fucking over exaggerated, but no, that's literally what I was told. And if I'm talking nonsense, hey, stop coming to my channel, you fucking creepy stalker, okay? You know exactly who you are, and I know who you are. So goodbye. Add it to the other accounts that you've been. Do these online games and groups maintain a roster of members? Ah, definitely. Well, actually, more or less, it's easier than that because most of these groups have like Discord servers, and all these members are on the Discord server. Most of them, at least. See, the troll farm started in a place called Regcord, REGCORD, and that was run by Tyler Carpenter, aka Reg Dunlop, and he was the king of the Discord, and basically Jinx was the queen, more or less. So yeah. And then when Reg self-destructed the Discord because of reasons, Jinx opened one herself. Yeah, so she can verify. Like I said, there's always people around here in these lives and stuff that one way, shape, or form know exactly what I'm talking about. So. Yeah, no, see, this is a part that people were misconstrued. Okay, there was really no troll farm in the end, anyways. There was no group that was set aside and designated to go after or do anything or this, that, and the fact. It's just usually a whole group of people that is on the server. Most of the people aren't going to try to do anything fucked up like, or mean or anything like that because they're good people. And then there was a small group of people that, yeah, like I said, trolls and assholes and stuff like that. What happens if someone is in multiple Discord servers for these different groups? Like, what if they are? Well, I think the only group I have never been in would be the Cranks, but I have hung out with them. You don't. How do I put it? See, you're actually the Cranks used to go by another name, and that was the Knot. And they wanted, I guess, to get be called something else because of the, I assume, the bad reputation. Yeah, yeah. There was no actual troll farm in the first place. It wasn't anything like that or whatever. It was literally there was basically 70 or 80 people, give or take, at most times. And amongst those people, you had 10 or 15, mostly creators. I yeah, no, they. Let's just be honest. Mostly they were creators. Yeah, the not yeah, the Mean Girls is just an offset of the Cranks, who is an offset of the Knot. Yeah, Luis was in the Knot. Technically, and no, Luis was also in the Troll Farm. I mean, Troll Farm in the end is just basically the people in the server. So technically, yes, Luis actually was in the Troll Farm. The Troll Farm, believe it or not, at least from all I can research and the fact of, was thrown together in the first place literally to stop me. No. Hoosier Cold Case, DB, Fiend. There's many male members of the Cranks. Where I was I in the not Discord? I've been in that not Discord sneakily. I was snuck in by some people just to take a look around, but as a member, no. Like I said, they were the only ones smart enough to not, yeah, to keep me I never asked to be a member. They never asked me to join, so it is what it is. But they did all the time. They still like me, and they still like me to this day. And they would always be like, "Charles, you're gonna come to the next live," and blah blah blah. So it's not like these are all bad people because it's not like it's like that. No, I mean, yeah, I have no problem answering questions. I mean, it often gets me in trouble because they don't want me to get the answers to this shit, but I don't care. Um, how do I put this? The way I got involved with the troll, whatever, it was a very crazy ass story in itself. I went on Facebook because I was looking for a new place to troll or whatever. I was a lone troll basically, and I used to just show up and start shit with people on Reddit, and I got banned like 90 fucking times. I was not in the troll farm. They booted me. Well, you got to understand, Miranda. They would tell you is not in the was not in the troll farm either, but in reality, she was. I mean, because there's no actual designated group. Okay, let me use an example. Most of the things that some like the trolls would do, they'd be like, "Hey, this person's having a live," and anybody who's online at the time in the Discord that has nothing better to do would just shit go with everybody else to the whatever live it was and just be smart asses and be pains in the asses. It's like dumb shit like that. Or if somebody posted a really fucked up video with crime scene videos or some shit attached, uh, uh, they would post the link and have everybody report it or something like that. You know, these are all very common things. You know, very easily fucking can mess with the creator's thing. Now, I won't say that they actually pushed for people to become creators and stuff. Well, I mean, depends on. I mean, they think I'm a troll, but I'm not a troll either. I mean, if I'm a troll, then you're a troll. That's just how it goes. I'm not a troll in what's actually called a troll either. I'm just an asshole. I don't do the whole jumping people in a gang and all that other shit. I was never about that or anything like that. But yet I'm still one of the notorious motherfuckers in the troll farm. Yet I was like, but really, in the end, what did I really do? I don't do the same shit the troll farm does. In fact, if anything, when the troll farm did their usual shit, I was the one that stood up to them, even while I was with them. But yeah, it all started in Snake's chat because that's where I met everybody at in the first place. Jinx, all them, until they had a falling out with Snake. And like I said, I mean, I didn't really have much of a problem with Snake either, but at the same time, I was under the assumption that I was there to protect a couple of people. That was the only reason. The hidden members. And usually, when I tell the story, people look at me like I'm insane or everything else. But finally, it was recently that one of those hidden members, technically both of them actually, came out and confirmed everything I said. And just 63? I could probably put 63 just with the troll farm. They'll play after dark. I would call him. I call him a derp. In fact, he would be the leader of the derps. I ain't got no issue with him. Actually, I'm cool with him, but still. They'll play after dark. That'd be Rick Snay. Um, Everybody that would end up becoming the troll farm met up in the first place. We all met each other through Rick Snay's chat. But here's the thing: nobody ever believed what Rick Snay said. But am I? I'm me. Why do you think I'm so calm and chill now? I couldn't be in those groups before because I would go nuts and keep fucking leaving the groups and all this other shit. But then I would come back because I was still protecting the women and this, that, and the other. And you saw it, Luis. You've been there when it happened. Like literally, I would be like literally going nuts in these places because they would try to tell me what to do and try to all kinds of shit. and I would slowly but surely fucking just go nuts in these groups, and then I quit, come back, quit, come back, quit, come back. You know, I was a member of the Troll Farm. I was a member. Oh, I was in Red Court. In Red Court alone, I quit 4 times. And I wasn't even a member when the damn Discord fucking was deleted. Then I was asked to come back, but it was Jinx instead, and that wasn't so bad or whatever. But then again, it started leading to the situation where people were starting to get onto me whenever I'm doing something. Like I can't go watch this person or I can't go watch that person. And if I'm doing so, I'm you know, it makes you sound. They make you sound like a traitor and some shit just because you go to watch it live. It was really dumb shit. And if you just wouldn't listen to when they would get on to you about it, then they had nicer people come up and be like, I can't be your friend anymore. And like I said, it's a lot of manipulation kind of things. And I'm not saying they intended it to happen that way, but no, I'm sure there's probably well over 60 creators alone just associated with each group. It is. And I have no respect for authority in the first place. I don't like to be told what to do. Um, I don't consider, how do I put this in a way that doesn't sound dickish and disrespectful? I don't consider anybody here my peer. You can be older than me, but yeah, if anything, you know, yeah, there's nobody here I consider myself behind or whatever, this, that, and the other. I'm not some idiot that just runs around doing what he's told. And I would see those kind of people all the time because I would see people getting jumped by 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 plus members of the group and this and that and the other. And I was always in trouble because rather than just keeping my mouth shut or just dealing with it and all this other crap, I would literally, I would jump on the side of the person that was being attacked. And yeah, nobody here, and I don't mean hate to be an asshole by it or everything else. Um, Yeah, I don't consider anybody in this entire community to be a peer. You don't get to be a peer just because you're older than somebody else, in my opinion. You know, I was here from the damn near get go myself, and unlike most of them that live right out there in Indiana, I'm a Florida idiot. So I had less of a reason to be here in the first place and less of a reason to even know about these murders in the first place as well. As in what? You are you asking what group you're in? You really want to know? Because you would be a member of the Derp Squad. Or are you asking me if you're my peer? No. You're Derp. Yeah, you're Derp. Yes, Choo Choo was a parody account ran by Angela Yellow Jacket, I think Sue, what's her face? An old friend of mine, actually. I mean, I really don't, like I said, I don't have a problem with these people. I like them, actually. Yellow Jacket likes to give me a hard time and all this other stuff, but we get in some pretty badass debates. Um, Angela, me and Angela are cool shit. I like Angela, actually. And same with Sue. See, I'm trying to do exactly what nobody else wants to or whatever. Um, I ain't got no enemies, but I will stop somebody when they're doing something fucked up or whatever. Oh, definitely so. In fact, I would call Choo Choo technically the alternate personality slash account of the leaders, damn near. Because Angela is R&M Productions. Basically, she is the spokesperson, main spokesperson for the Cranks. If you're counting the YouTubers, you could say Bob Mata. He's technically I'd call a crank too, but I'd still say Angela would be the. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, you would say Sue. What's her Sue Wright? I think it was. You. She was like the leader of the shit. But in the end, it's always Angela. It's always Angela. Yeah. I mean, what do you say, Luis? You were in the knot. Do I got a point there or what? It's basically Angela. And just like the troll farm, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Most of them use Discord, but they also use Facebook, Reddit, email, Telescope, Periscope, whatever all them damn programs. They'll use all that shit for different sources. One of my enemies, or I wouldn't say enemy, a group. I mean, I know what the Huns are in history. Sure. I mean, the Huns fought China, I think it was, right? Attila the Hun. Um, for one, what's wrong with being a derp? I hang out with derps all the time. Props a derp. What's wrong with that? For two, no, you're not above me, but you can be right next to me. What's wrong with that? As far as I'm concerned, you don't understand what I'm saying by there is nobody here in this community that is my peer. That's literally my way of saying that everybody in this community to me has equal ground. Oh, now, yeah, to me it's considered peer. Well, I know the definition of peers or whatever, but everybody to me is equal. Yeah, Angela is who I would call. Now, see, I don't know the names of the Facebook groups or whatever, or the groups on there or whatnot. I tried to go on Facebook one time, and okay, then whatever. Then you're a peer, whatever floats your boat. But what I'm saying is, I had a really bad experience. Who was the leader of the Derps? Rich Snake, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Who is the one person that everybody else in the derps look up to, uh, and who is most likely the ones? If he says move, people will move, and that yeah, that would be Snake. I mean, he's at least got the charisma and everything else to pull it off. No offense to Prop or anything, but come on, are we going to say that Sneeze? I don't even think I need to ask Prop if he does. I mean, hypothetically, if we're talking about like I mean, Snake's got a higher fan base, more people, more dominant presence, all kinds of other stuff. He even talks to the victim's Rich Gallen's family. So the Delphi dicks. Like I said, names of groups themselves or whatnot. Well, yeah, I know a lot of them. Bitter Beat Poet, like Greeno. Who's your cold case? Me. It all depends on what you mean by OG. I mean, if there's specific groups on places like Facebook, I will tell you that the least place I went onto Facebook, no shit, one time. I mean, one post, a massive ass group of Delphi people, and I shit you not, I had a suspect's ex-wife blowing me up, who I thought was a troll. So I posted her account and said, "What the fuck is up with these trolls trying to pretend to be such and such?" Next thing I know, I shit you not, I got murder sheets in my email, blowing my shit up, trying to get an interview with this person that I'm talking to. And yeah, she's still around now, years later. It turned out she was telling the truth about everything. So, one of the main suspects that was not Richard Allen, his ex wife, is a very close friend of mine. I just had her in the live the other night, even though I had to remove the live. I'm sure you know the Kleins, basically. I'm sure everybody does at this point. And that's how I even got involved in the troll farm thing in the first place, because I thought I was protecting this lady. Simple as that. Geez, I've listed our Randy Gravett. Yeah, Randy Gravett. He does the walks. I love Randy. He's a good dude. Greeno. Honestly, I wish Greeno's past was a lot less cloudy. Mike Cat, he's dead. Hooters Cold Case. Yeah, that's James. And Captain Howdy, which is Douglas Jacob Venables, who killed himself and his wife and a murder suicide outside of a gas station. Yes, it was Captain Howdy was the one that told me I should be a creator in the first place. No shit. Because I have a very good memory, and I've been studying like true crime cases and shit since I was a child, and I still know every detail from all of those cases. Yeah, I know it's pretty fucked up. I mean, it sucks in its own way because I always thought of him as a good dude. A lot of people did. Honestly, he had his all fooled. I mean, well, I wouldn't say he had his all fooled because somebody can be a decent friend and a monster at the same time. But yeah, he used to. A lot of people thought he would joke around and shit, and he would tell people and tell us and stuff like he is a demon or he is a devil or this, that, and the other. In fact, that's where you can start to see a little bit of my speech comes off as something a lot like Captain Howdy's because, like I said, he was one of my good friends. And he used to call himself the devil, so people used to think I was such an asshole. So I was like, instead of calling myself an asshole, most of the time I would joke around and tell people I was the devil myself, to go right alongside with it. Because Captain Howdy, if you know what Captain Howdy is, that's the name of the demon that is from the movie The Exorcist. That's where he got the name for that account from. But yeah, I used to call the people in the troll farm what I used to call them. My nickname for them was I called them church kids because all the time they wanted to be asshole. The unraveling that would be Angela, Yellow Jacket, and Tobor or whatever his name is, right? So yeah, basically at one point in time you might have called them basic leaders in the knot in the cranks. Yeah, I'd follow all y'all guys anywhere. That way I make sure you dumbasses stay safe. No, you're not dumbasses, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, but I don't follow anybody. Unless it's like okay, I do have a tendency to follow the really cute females because it's what I could say. Like, have you ever seen a Chihuahua sitting in a yard, barking and talking shit to all kinds of people, and then people see the Chihuahua and they're like, "Oh, you're not scary," but then you see the Rottweiler behind the Chihuahua. There we go. That's what we're talking about. And people would always call me drama and shit, but in reality, I was never the one usually starting shit. It would always be this little person with a big mouth that go out there running their mouth and everything else and getting themselves into trouble. And then right when they thought they were going to do something to that little person, then comes the Rottweiler. It was entertaining, so I had nothing better to do. Yes, Tobor is a troll farmer, last I know, for sure. It's just, I mean, technically, okay, with unraveling, I know he calls him. He has a different account now, but the unraveling is just Tobar, right? I thought, ain't it? Then what was the account with? That was all three of them, or am I mistaking that real quick? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, him and that one lady or whatever her name is, she's in the troll farm. I was there when Captain Howdy. Oh yeah, that's what it's called, the domain. Okay, gotcha. I knew it was something like that. I was there when the Tobor joined, Gibbo joined. I was there when Captain Howdy joined. Um, yeah, see, here's the funny thing that most people didn't know. Yeah, it's been around a while. But the troll farm became a thing in the first place. To start with, their main target and only target was me. As I was saying a few minutes ago, that lady messaged me on Facebook, right? When I outed her in that post, at the time, nobody knew about it, but Murder Sheets, the podcasters, were working with Troll Farm. Wasn't even the Troll Farm yet. And that was Ruckus, Bossy, Jinx, Tommy, people like that, the OGs of the Reg, Tyler Carpenter, Bo, da. When I outed her in my post calling her a troll, it only tipped off the troll farm. Yeah, when I thought the person that were messaging me on Facebook was a troll, and I outed her. Remember, I said that Murder Sheets started emailing me and shit, trying to get an interview with her. I got those emails still too, and I found out she was legit. But it turns out when I outed her to the community on Facebook in that post, it not only Murder Sheets found out what account she was under, and also the troll farm were able to get her to join them because of it. So actually, it was my fault. They wouldn't have known who she was if I hadn't done that. Because when I first met her, if anybody in the troll farm isn't actually the leader, I would say it's more like, how do I put it? I wouldn't call Murder Sheets troll farm. I call it, but they're above the troll farm. Yes, yeah, that's the best way to say it. Back then they did, sure. They've actually always been pretty much at odds. Like there was times when Rich Name went to go meet Kevin Greenlee somewhere to fight and everything else, and yeah, definitely not independent. If you read their book, the only group that didn't get criticized or anything out of all the community was the Troll Farm in their book. And here's another thing that most people don't know. There was supposed to be some massive interview thing going on where a lot of the members or some of the members of the Troll Farm were going to get interviewed and given an episode and everything else on the Murder Sheets podcast. That went out the window because I decided to be an asshole, basically. And Miranda comes to me and she goes, "Oh, by the way, the Murder Sheets is trying to interview people that have associations and past associations with the Troll Farm and everything else." And she goes, "I bet they would like to talk to you because of your perspective." And I said, "Oh, really?" So, and as this is going on, and I'm talking by email with the Murder Sheets again, I started to basically start filling the murder sheets in on the information I knew that nobody knew. And by that point, I already knew how they were left off the book being attacked or whatever like that, like damn near everybody else was. Nobody was calling them out in the book and all this other shit. I already sensed there was some sort of agenda or whatever going on, and they were being protected, and I wasn't having none of it. So I was like, when I should have been polite and all that to just get involved in this interview, instead I was saying, "Hey, how would the rest of the creators in the Delphi community like to know that you are protecting the troll farm and all this other?" Yeah, I did the usual troll stuff, because I'm not even sure if they knew the amount of information I had at that point, or the amount of shit that troll farm had actually been involved in. That, yeah, no, no, it wasn't in the book. The doghouse gang. The doghouse is a bar in Delphi. The doghouse gang is basically just another more troll farm. No, they don't get along with the kooks at all. They're more or less a mix of online people and locals. The Unit Party. Once again, the name sounds familiar, but I'd have to hear a couple of names first. I mean, I know being here, so many of these people involved. It's just, yeah. Certain places are called certain things and everything else. The Unit Party. When would this would have been a thing? Oh, wait. Are you talking about when the fucking troll farm and the fucking cranks started working together or whatever? We're starting to? Gibbo and fucking, what's his face? The British guy and the other British guy or whatever, I think, right? Is that what you're asking about? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was not a figment of Adrian's. They actually were getting ready to work together, honestly, because they were trying to take me down and other people. They have a different reason to want to take me down. The cranks and whatnot were. Wait, are you talking about the kooks? No, it was the cranks and the troll farm. They were starting to link up, and you can see it. No, that was. Yeah, no. I mean, there was a group, a bunch of YouTubers that framed Richard Allen. Who did that? No, see, I thought you were talking about when the cranks started joining up with freaking the troll farm. That was like a year ago, give or take. The what's his face? The Ron Logan camp. Oh, okay. These are probably the people that swear up and down that Ron Logan is probably the killer, and most of those people were all associated with like Rick Snay and shit. Do I think YouTubers framed Richard Allen? No, not at all. I mean, people don't want to accept the fact the most definitive evidence and everything against Richard Allen is his own fucking words. Well, I mean, like I said, I have a lot of friends in this community. Um, I don't agree with most of them opinion wise. Like when I started my, I wouldn't even say I'm a group or whatever. I literally wasn't gonna sit there and just go, Richard Allen's innocent. He didn't do it, as in basically. It's what somebody wanted. No problem. I don't mind answering anybody's questions. I don't mind pissing people off. They know by now. They can come at me all they want. They've sent damn near everybody at me at some point. Um, Yeah, once you have a fucked up real life, it's very hard to intimidate somebody on the internet. Is basically the best way I'll put it. And um, what that makes no sense to me is okay. You can't just say that they're pro state people. Well, for the most part, I haven't seen any real fighting amongst the pro state people. If you're not counting when I was being attacked by members, and that was for a whole different reason, and that was because members of a certain group were trying to have other members of the same group do illegal things to other creators using a plan that I came up with as a joke to make somebody feel better. Albeit, it's a plan that very much easily would have worked. I think that's why I only told one person. And as soon as I made it clear it was a joke and it wasn't going to happen, I asked them to never bring it up to anybody again. And they didn't listen. So when I came into a Discord and saw a bunch of people planning to go do bad stuff using my plan, well, I'm not stupid. Take a bunch of screenshots and shut that shit down because I ain't going to jail for nobody's stupidity. Um, well, I mean, I don't even consider myself a YouTube creator in the first place. I mean, at best, I would say like I'm a researcher. Um, uh, as people like Bangin and other people would say, I have the gift of gab. Um, I do go on X as well, and basically, I'm probably one, if not one, yeah, basically the biggest pain in the ass in this community. Because if somebody's doing something that's fucked up to other people for no apparent reason whatsoever, and I hear about it, I'm the first one to go knock the shit out of basically verbally at least everybody involved. And but no, I go on X, Twitter, Facebook. I'm more careful. I got involved with the Delphi case when the first press conference came out. I saw it on the news all the way down here in Florida. Something about it bothered the shit out of me, and I just got involved, and I haven't left since. I started off in Reddit and shit like that. That got banned like 90 something times because I wasn't very nice on telling people that their ideas and shit were stupid. I had to learn over time to not be so, I don't know, blunt with people. I mean, after you like work on so many fucking cases, you start to see all the things that match these things, kinds of things up. So every single time somebody would blame a suspect like Chadwell or the rapey guy that blew his brains out, or the thrift store shooter, and all these other people. What was his name? The guy that was swinging a hatchet around at people. But you know, you learn, you research enough killers and stuff. You see the links and the way they act. So it becomes obvious when a suspect comes up in the previous crimes and what they did to other people, that you can automatically pretty much discount things, you know, suspects right off the bat, like Chadwell. kidnapped the little girl, took her down into his basement, had his dog bite her and shit like that. While he was trying to off and on strangle her and essay her, or at least try to. When the cops showed up, thankfully, before it was too late. But by a modus operandi and everything else, as the cops are supposed to do and the feds do, um, you can eliminate the Delphi murders from anything somebody like that would do. Same as Garrett Kurtz. The way that they were killed does not match the victims that Garrett Kurtz has left. So I'm not exactly sure when that first press conference it was. I wouldn't say it was give or take within the first month. Oh, now? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really sit there and talk about it. No, I still look into other cases and all that. It's just most of my time goes into talking to my friends and stuff that are in this community. And when I do lives, most people just want to talk about Delphi. I think I took a break from Delphi for about a week and a half. So, and I was bored, so I went and saw Idaho. And I'm not even joking when I say that. The last four cases I've worked on, I was able to figure out major details that most people didn't know about in each one of them. Just using the stuff that the press and everything else puts out. No, I did not. I was supposed to go to the Delphi trial, but once I learned that they were only allowing 25 to 40 people tops most days into the trial, I did not see the point in flying all the way from Florida to Indiana. Especially since I had at least 10 friends that were waiting in line to go instead. Um, I think at first I didn't think I thought everybody was making a big deal out of most of it, but then over time, once the transcripts and all that came out, I did see problems in some of the things she did, including the third party defense. I agreed with the Odinist part of that. I don't believe the Odinist should have ever been allowed in court, and she was right to do that. Um, Now, borderline, I don't believe, and I have to believe, I guess, that the client should have even been involved because, of Indiana law involving the Nixus and all this other shit. Now, Ron Logan, though, on the other hand, when she threw that out, that idea was bullshit. We can put him on his own property 209. Oh, no, I believe Richard Allen is guilty. Don't get me wrong. But Ron Logan still should have been a viable fucking third party suspect. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Because, if Ron Logan or one of the other ones, DNA had not been eliminated via that sample that everybody keeps talking about, we would know about it by now. So I'm just going to assume that he was also eliminated. Um, that means no matter what, whoever did this, that either this crime scene was contaminated some way, some shape or form, which I'm starting to really believe it probably was contaminated. For the life of me, and all the things I know about crimes and all the crimes and everything I've researched, this is a lone wolf crime. This is not the kind of crime that you invite your buddies to help on. Richard Allen didn't trust anybody that much to involve in this crime. I don't see Keegan Klein. I mean, maybe like the catfishing part. Yeah, and that bothers me too. Because you hear a lot of these people talking about false confessions and everything else, but that's exactly what we have. Elvis Field's confessions, Richard Allen's confessions, they're all bullshit. And I know I just said that Richard Allen is probably guilty, and I still say he's probably guilty. But why did he make a bunch of false confessions? You'll have to ask him because he told his dad a couple weeks before he made them that he was going to make them. That's not who I remember doing the threat. The only time I heard anybody talk about blowing up the softball park, aka a being living thing, was Joe Lewis and them openly saying they would do so on YouTube. Keegan didn't confess to the crime. Keegan said he was at the crime scene in a red Jeep. What, Raffy? No, no. Joe Lewis was the one. Trust me, I remember this fully. Joe Lewis said he was going to blow up. Yeah, Joe Lewis was the one who threatened to blow up the softball field. Trust me, I remember. I have a very good memory for things like that. Yeah, you're talking about Raffy. As above, so below. But at the same time, just like Elvis Fields and all that, that's just a confession with no details that match anything. So it doesn't make any sense. If maybe we had a witness that saw a red jeep or something like that, sure, okay, then I'm okay with it. And I did say I'm up in the air when it comes to the clients. I'm either there, I'm not there, but not there. I guess. No, Joe Lewis isn't Canadian. He's British or Australian or British. But no, he's not Canadian. I don't think. No, no, he's in the UK. Not to be rude or anything like that, but no, Joe Lewis is fucking British, or whatever. And yes, he was the one that threatened to blow up the fucking softball field. Trust me, I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, see, that's why I said I wasn't sure. Yeah, I did say like he's either British or Australian, one of the two. And but basically, the Australians came from the British, so come on, it is what it is. No, I mean, like I said, if people have questions, I don't mind answering them. I mean, I'm trying to do so the best of my ability or whatnot. And to me, an Australian person and a British person damn near sound alike. Oh yeah, he might be. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't know his genealogy or anything like that or whatever. I couldn't. He's too churchy for me. He was always too churchy for me. I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not that I have a problem with people loving God and all this other stuff. I'm cool with that. What are you talking about? Somebody's taking a class, or the person asking all the questions. Honestly, I think a lot of people should know what happened behind the scenes in all this bullshit because not many do, and the people that do know what all has occurred, really, they want people to shut the fuck up. mean, hell, they sent two fucking groups after me to shut me up. Uh, no, I'm not tooting my horn or anything like that. It's the majority of the groups. It seems didn't want to attack me because they're actually chill with me. So that's what I do believe what occurred. Plus, it's hard to intimidate somebody on the fucking internet. That's what it is. I mean, once you've gone through so much bullshit in real life, and Fishy, I'm sure, understands what I'm saying by that. It's kind of hard to be frightened by people that are like typey. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like cops. My cousin was killed by a serial killer. His case is still open to this date, and the cops just think it's too much of a hassle to fucking take the asshole to trial for it, even though I was a witness. So, like I said, I'm not really. I don't fit in most of those groups either. I don't love cops. Fuck cops. But I am semi criminal too. In fact, sadly, yeah, I'm probably one of the worst. But as a matter of record, you're not going to find that in my instance because the most worst thing I've been caught with is like a marijuana roach and some driving infractions. That's because I'm a successful criminal. I didn't get caught. No, that's what I'm saying. I am not a pro state person. I am not a pro defense person. Ever since I started studying cases in true crime, from every perspective I could, I got every single fact and detail I could. And before I sit there and go, okay, this is my suspect for any of these cases, I have to go through every single piece of information I can get my hands on every case. Like, I think I couldn't even name whether or not Rick Allen was a viable suspect until I heard his voice. I can't stand justice. Justice is blind. The system's fucked. Most of those people, this is their first case, and then probably be their last case. And yeah, everybody wants to put cops on this. Well, for one, even if I was okay with cops, it damn sure wouldn't be Indiana cops because they have a damn a routine of just fucking shit up. Don't even get me started on Burger Chef. Come on. Hell, even the FBI and fucking Indiana are just fucking. Duh. That's why for the longest time, I've kind of basically just been my own group. And now it's starting to sound like certain people on both sides are starting to sound a little bit more like me than I'd like to. Yeah, I'd rather them not, but yeah. It is. Cops can't do no wrong. You're talking to me, you're going to tell me the cops are nothing but good people who do these good things and all this and that. In my state alone, there's been 9 serial killers that were all police officers. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. Cops do fucked up shit all the time. And in my state, it's the worst for that. I think the only state closest to us was California, and they've had 2 serial killers that police officers. 2. We got almost 10. They got 2. Well, honestly, The cops fucked up. This case should have been solved back in 2017. Um, it shouldn't even have remained. An arrest should have been made before 90 days was even over with since the crimes. Period. Is how I feel in the matter. They are taught as police officers, if you can't identify a, first thing you do is try your hardest to identify um, a suspect. And if you cannot do so, you work your ass off on the things that you can identify. The moment they knew about the car and shit, that case should have been damn near finished with because if they had gotten a hold of every single car that possibly could have, I think it was about 5 or 6 different models with different years, and started just in Delphi and worked their way out in a spiral, they would have never even got out of fucking Carroll County because they would have found Rick Allen. You find Rick Allen before 90 days are over with, you have his car's brain. His car's brain if in fact, as I believe, he lied and changed his time and all this other shit, proves he's full of shit. And most of the people I ask them, I say, hey, I'm going to ask you a question. If right now you magically found out that Rick Allen's car was there from 1:30 to 3 or 4 o'clock or whatever, and that he's been lying to us and everything else this whole time, what do you think now about his being involved in this crime or not? And yeah, most of the people that hear that, they process that thought. Well, yeah, that changes everything. So there you go. That's as close as we have to a smoking gun because of all the data and information and everything we have. True. That's it. Yeah. hmm But the only thing I can think of, because a smoking gun is like a detail that once it's added to the case trial or whatever edgewise, um, once you have it, it's enough to change damn near any logical person's fucking thoughts on it. Let me ask y'all. I'm not sure how you feel about the whole Richard Allen thing and everything else, but if you do think he's possibly innocent, this, that, and the other, well, we had that. If we had that car's brain and it literally said what I said, how do you think it? Or Nicole, even Fishy, even okay, making the people at trial look like dumbasses. That's your point. I asked the question. For those of you who think Richard Allen is innocent, if we had that car's brain right now, and it definitively put him at that crime scene from 1:30 to 4, what say you? Because then we know he's lying. Innocent people don't have to lie, correct? He has no alibi. He's never offered an alibi. So if he's there, all I'm saying is, if we had my actual question was, if I had that car's brain and could show that man was lying, and I don't even want me to bring up the major little tiny pieces of information that, when all put together like a little jigsaw puzzle, damn near looks like Alan once it's put together. But but the closest thing, yeah, we have to the fucking smoking gun would have been the brain from that car, just like in the Murdoch trial. But most of them change the times or whatever, but they don't change it away from the time that the murders are occurring. I'm asking, no, that's not what I asked. I asked what y'all would think, but it changed your mind. Well, here's my question: what other male can we say that was 5 foot, right under 5'5", stocky, admitted to wearing those kind of clothes, owns a similar type of gun and all that other stuff, and car and all that other shit, all that. Like I said, you are so transfixed disproving something or whatever that even if I ask you a hypothetical question, you won't even answer it. Or am I getting the hype? This is what I'm talking about. How you gonna tell me I don't know shit about the case, and I'm not up there in the people that know most about the things? Then you should know that when Westville or whatever, or the jail first took it. For one, I was the one that came up with that. I measured him, or did you just forget that? And then when Richard Allen was arrested, all the people that thought it was funny that I said such a small, tiny, short guy fucking could do this kind of looked at me like, what the fuck? Because he just happened to be the same exact height as the guy I said would be back then. And how do we know Richard Allen's height? Because there's a rep shot with the tape measure right next to his fucking head. Well, you got to understand, this is what jail measured him as. You've been there, just like I do. They take off your shoes, they take off your socks, then they measure you. He was wearing hiking boots at the time. Now, via the FBI's database, which did y'all know they have a hiking boot database through the FBI? Yeah, I learned that involving this crime too. At first, I had to take a guess, but I think it's 70% or more than 70% of hiking boots have an inch and a half of lift. That means that no matter what height you think somebody is without shoes on, you have to add that inch and a half to their height. Okay, if I showed you my math, are you going to be able to understand it? How good are you at trigonometry? Or am I going to have to teach you how to do the math first, and then, which makes no sense? So why would you even believe me in the first place? The FBI testified, if I remember correctly, a person around. I offered to show my work years ago, dude. This is the first time you actually wanted to see it. Now you're acting like you never even heard this in the first place. This is fucking real convenient, bro. Seriously, straight up convenient. All y'all motherfuckers, all y'all knew this. This is what I don't get. Okay, how many years have I told everybody the same information and offered at the same time to go through it all? But once I start bringing up trigonometry and everything else, because you have to use it, yeah, you always had a problem with it because I had to use Reno's help to get measurements and other stuff. Everybody was always finding a problem with something I did with this or that and the other. So to make everybody happy, I had to literally say I'm going to go to Indiana at some point and redo the entire experiment myself alone. I know, right? Oh, it's very simple, people. To have a buried treasure, Most likely, you've had to have a decent amount of money throughout your rest of your life before this. The money I often find people actually it's a state by state thing. Believe it or not, a lot of people, for one reason or another, have unclaimed money just sitting there, and the government basically holds on to it. And there's a website for each and every state. You go there, you type your name in. If you find your name there, you send in your information, and then they send you a check. Very simple. And that is how I found um, all kinds of money and other shit for Diana recently. In two states. I'd say you move into an apartment or something, right? And you pay a deposit to get one sort of utility or something turned on. And then at some point you move for whatever reason, and you never got the deposit back. Well, that doesn't just vanish. It gets sent by the company of the utility or whatever to the government. No, I'm just saying. Or some people, like, for whatever reason, they don't collect the last paycheck because I don't know, maybe they're fighting with the people they were working with, or just are pissed off because they got fired or something like that. So they don't go pick up the last paycheck. Those things don't just disappear. You know, it all gets into the government, and the government just holds on to it for you. I ain't got no problem whatsoever in showing my work in the instance, but yeah, I feel like I need to go take all the measurements and all that in person myself because as long as somebody else is involved that isn't upper standing and all that other stuff, I feel like it's giving everybody an out to complain. But yeah, there's little machines that use lasers and shit. You can point at a tree, and it'll tell you how tall the tree is. And you'll be on the ground. So because these little machines and shit like the hypnometer and all this other stuff. They use trigonometry, shit like that, to give the right answers. So it's not that difficult to figure this out yourself. And yeah, basically that's exactly what. If you remember in the trial and all that stuff, it was mentioned that the state was not willing to pay $10,000 basically to a mathematician because that's what the guy would have used to take a estimated guess on what the height of the person in the video would have been. That's all it is. You get a height range of certain, you know, he was 5'4" to 5'6" without boots on. Now you got to remember the boots give you an extra inch and a half of lift. So that 5'4" to 5'6" ish literally becomes 5.5 and a half, 5.55 feet, or uh, about 5'7", something like that. 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". Yeah, 5'7" and a half. And if you remember right, the tallest of the group of four girls was 16 years old at the time. Told Bitter Beat Poet that um, Bridge Man, the bridge guy, was just about her height or a tiny bit taller. And at the time, she was measured at 5'6". So, and yes, these are all facts. once again, relying on a witness testimony and all this other stuff, it is what it is. But it's not that hard to compare somebody's height to your own when they're standing right next to you. But yeah, if there are instances where, like, your parents passed away, maybe you're an only child or something, you might not have gotten an inheritance, but any unclaimed money in their name, you could also claim too. You would just need to know their information. And honestly, unless if somebody else has something they would like to talk about, I'm just probably going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm kind of feeling Delphite out for the moment. Not that I mind answering questions or anything like that. I don't. To me, there's just so many fucked up cases that are unsolved and everything else. And it'd just be nice if somebody asked about one of those instead. Um, well, thanks everyone for coming to the second live of tonight. I hope everybody has a good night, and I'll probably be back later on this evening or something when I feel. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing the studio killers. They got the tables turned on live this evening, so yeah, I'll be back. Everybody have a nice night. Thanks for coming. Peace.